Today in our Halloween series, we're going to make a super monster with horns and teeth and everything. It's going to be real easy and a lot of fun. Are you ready to get started? All we're going to need is some red Play-Doh, some blue Play-Doh, some white Play-Doh, some black Play-Doh, a Play-Doh knife, a pen, and a couple of matchsticks. If you've got that, then we are ready to get started. Okay, let's go. Okay, first we're going to take a good amount of blue Play-Doh and rub it between the palms of your hands. You see how I'm doing here? And make it a nice tube, a thick tube-like shape. Back and forth, smoothing out its edges. Just like so. Ideally, you see, it can even stand up a little bit. It's more vertical than a ball. You can put it on a flat surface and then using the palm of your hand, rub it backwards and forwards. When you're done, it should look just about like this. Great. Okay, you can put that aside. Now let's take some more blue Play-Doh and repeat the process. But this time, let's roll it even more on one side. You see how I've done here? And then, using the Play-Doh knife, go ahead and cut it in half. Now take the thin part and just roll that out easily so it's one longer tube. Okay, now use the Play-Doh knife and just cut this into different pieces. Let's take 1, 2, which are going to be medium size. Yeah, just put those aside and roll out your tube a little bit more so it's a little bit thinner and a little bit longer, and cut that into 2 more pieces also. Excellent. Okay, now with these 2 small pieces, let's start rolling them with our fingers instead of our whole palms now, just the fingers. And again, a little bit more on one side than the other. You get a slight little cone effect. And now on the thicker part, what we're going to do is create a hand by using the Play-Doh knife to make a few little indentations. You see what I've done there? That's to make the fingers. And there you go. Great. You can just put those 2 aside now. All right, let's go back to our medium-sized pieces of blue Play-Doh and just roll it, smoothing it out so that instead of being just a tube, it's more like an egg shape, a small egg shape. And again, let's use the Play-Doh knife. We just have to make a couple little indentations to give the indication of feet. You see how easy that was? Okay, great. And you can put those back. Now let's take our big piece again. And you can cut off a little bit and put it to the side. And just start rolling it and forming it so it's nice and solid and thick. This is going to be the body of our monster. And you want to make it symmetrical. It shouldn't be lopsided. It should be evenly dispersed. Just like so, okay? All right, now let's use the Play-Doh knife and start creating a few of the features in our monster. Let's begin with his mouth. Come down a little bit from the top and not quite into the center, and just make a little arc. Use the Play-Doh knife to cut in, but not too deeply right now, just to make a line so we have a nice even arc, like so. And now to make this monster scary, let's give him some really sharp teeth. To do that, let's take a little bit of white Play-Doh. You see what I'm doing here? Just a tiny speck, really, just a little bit, and roll it back and forth until you get kind of a pointed side. You see, so it's pointy, and then go ahead and put that right into the mouth. And you have 1, and then you can do it again, and you have 2 fangs coming down. Big, overgrown teeth, sharp. You see? Pretty good. Okay, now let's fill in the rest of his mouth with some teeth also. Just little specks of white Play-Doh now. Just rub them between your fingers and then placing them in his mouth. Use the Play-Doh knife just to make it nice and even and adjusted. All right. You can tell he's going to be a scary monster just by those teeth. So far, so good. Now we know where his mouth is going to be, and based on that, we can now place where his eyeballs are going to be. So let's take the back of a pen and press above his mouth. Now let's take some white Play-Doh, enough that we can fill up that space for his eyeballs. And go ahead and just stick it into the eye socket. Push it in. It should be bubbling out, overflowing and coming out, looking very scary. Good. Okay, now we can use the pen to indicate his nostrils, where his nose would go. So just make these two little spots here with the pen. Yeah? Good. I know those eyeballs are there, but they would look better if they weren't so blank. So let's fill them in with the eye pupils. So take some black Play-Doh now, just a little bit, and go ahead and press it on top of the eyeball. Yeah? Pretty much center, a little bit up. You can even use the pen to hold it and center it. All right, how's it looking? Is it looking a little bit like mine? We are more than halfway done. One thing I think will be cute is give our monster a little bit of personality with a bad haircut. So let's just take some small pieces of blue Play-Doh, roll them out here, very small, into a tube, and just lay them on top of his head. You can do it one, and then another one over here, and one there, another one there. It's really like 3 strands of hair, but it gives the overall impression that he's got a really bad haircut. And it's kind of funny. But let's also add some horns to make it a little scary too. So for this, we want to get some red Play-Doh and take a little bit, roll it between our thumb and forefinger. Use the Play-Doh knife to cut it into 2 even pieces. With one of the pieces, use your finger on a flat surface to roll it back and forth and create horn. If you press down more on one side than the other as you're rubbing, it's thinner there and thicker on the other side. Excellent, excellent. We want to have 2 equal pieces, and you can go ahead and put that right at the side of his head and a little bit behind his ear so it's in the center, and press it in so it stays in place. Excellent. And on the other side too. Okay, he's really coming alive now. This is terrific. Let's use a little bit of blue Play-Doh. Tiny little shred. Yeah, tiny little piece. Very thin here. See what I'm doing? Very thin. And wrap it at the base of the horn. You see what I'm doing there? Use the Play-Doh knife if you have to, just to get it tucked in all the way around. And this will help the horn stay in place and also makes it look much, much neater. And you want to do that on the other side also. Good job, good job. Okay, now time to bring in the matchsticks. Nobody's going to see these. It's just for you and me to see and do, but we want to push this. You see how I've pushed it into our monster's body and also on the other side. And I'm doing that because I want him to be able to stand up with a lot of support. So now taking one of his feet, I push onto the matchstick, and the other foot, and both feet have disappeared, and you can't even tell there's a matchstick there anymore. But you and I know it's keeping his whole body together much stronger. His whole legs and feet are attached to his body because of these hidden matchsticks. Okay, good. You can put a little bit of blue Play-Doh behind him to hold him up, and if you put it low enough and you bend it, you can make it look like a tail. You see that? It's holding him up, but you also have it curved so that everybody thinks it's a tail. Huh? Good job. Okay, almost done. Now remember those 2 arms that are over there? Let's put those on. So you want to take the thin part of the blue Play-Doh and just press and attach it at his shoulder from the very back. And push it and squeeze it so it holds in place. Excellent. Both arms are holding in place? Fantastic. Well, that was really easy, wasn't it? It was just a little bit of blue Play-Doh and red Play-Doh, a little white Play-Doh, a little black Play-Doh, a couple matchsticks, and from nothing, you created a really cute and very Halloweenish monster out of Play-Doh. Good job. Well done. Well, thanks for watching our special Halloween series. Hello everyone and welcome back to Play-Doh Videos. Today in our Halloween series, we are going to make a funny Halloween minion ghost. It's going to be really easy and a ton of fun and going to look really cool and neat at the end. Are you ready? It's going to be simple. All we're going to need is some black Play-Doh, some yellow Play-Doh, some white Play-Doh, a Play-Doh knife, and a couple of matchsticks. That's it, so let's get started. Okay, first we're going to need a good amount of white Play-Doh. So take some white Play-Doh and press it, rub it between your two hands. Okay, roll it now between the palms of your hands, increasingly making it an egg or tube-like shape. This is going to be the body of our minion. And good. Now once you've reached that stage, you want to take your thumb underneath at the bottom and start pressing upward. Go all around the bottom edge and with your finger and thumb start flattening it out. You see how I'm doing here? What you want to do is create the semblance of a sheet. It's going to be looking like a sheet is on top of the minion. Making it very thin, and then also start putting little waves in the sheet at the bottom so it looks like it's a flowing sheet. Yeah, it shouldn't all be even and uniform. Excellent, excellent. Is yours looking a little bit like mine? The minion's body at the top and the sheet at the bottom. Excellent, well done. Okay, great. Once you have the white sheet over our minion and has nice flowing sheet at the bottom, you can just put that aside. Okay, now let's take two small pieces of black Play-Doh, and for each one, just use your thumb and forefinger with both hands and just shape it. You don't need to do any major rolling, just shape it so it looks like a tiny little shoe. You see? Just like that. And you want to repeat, and the thing here is they should be about the same size and shape. Good? Okay, great. Great job. Just put it aside, we'll come back to it later. And now, moving on. And now let's take some more black Play-Doh and roll this in a very thin tube, just like this. Not even your palm, use your fingers. Rolling it back and forth into a thin, long tube. And you can even just tear off the extra part. And we want to have a nice thin black Play-Doh piece of string. Okay, great. Now you have a nice long piece of string. Now curve it around on itself so it's a circle just like so. And put that right dead center, smack in the middle of our ghost-like minion. You see how I've done it? Just right there. And take a little speck of black Play-Doh, tiny bit, circular, and put it right in the center. Okay, great. Now, using this other black Play-Doh, just roll it out into a long tube. Nice and thin. You see this is going to be longer, almost twice as long really, and thicker. And now at the end here, what we want to do is press down so it's flat. See how I've done that? You can go ahead and cut it in the middle. Take one piece now and connect it to the minion's spectacle and wrap it around, and now also on the other side. And that is the kind of rubber thing that holds his spectacle in place. All right, good. Okay, now let's take the yellow Play-Doh, and what we're going to do here is take one of the matchsticks and completely cover it with the yellow Play-Doh. You see, I've just kind of stuck it in there, and now I'm rolling it back and forth with my palm, and any excess you can just take off. We just need the length of the matchstick to be covered in the Play-Doh. Excellent, and repeat. We're going to do that with the second matchstick now also. Okay, same thing. You take the yellow Play-Doh and roll it with your fingers in the palm of your hand. Any excess you just pull off. And there we go. Just put them aside. Now let's take some black Play-Doh and just press down so you have this kind of flat circular shape. And use the Play-Doh knife to make two little cuts so that you can form 3 fingers. You see how I'm doing here? Now use your fingers and your thumb to make those distinct, so it's like a black glove. Terrific. And when your black glove is all done, we want to repeat that, so we have 2 of them. And then go ahead and push it right onto the end of the matchstick, just like so. And you want to do that with both of them. And now take the other end of the yellow matchstick and push it into the side of our minion. Nobody really knows that there's a matchstick there. They just see the yellow part, and to them, it looks like a yellow minion arm. Okay, great. Now, a nice little touch here, so should the sheet that is giving him the ghost-like appearance. So let's take a little bit of white Play-Doh, just press it between the thumb and forefinger, yeah, just press and flatten it out, and drape it over the bottom half of our yellow Play-Doh, so that the shoulder portion of our minion looks like it's covered in white sheet also. You see how I've done that? Just a little touch there, but it makes it look much more realistic. And repeat on the other side, same thing. Okay, and now we're almost done. Final touches here. Let's take the last 2 pieces of black Play-Doh and put them underneath the folds in the front of his sheet so that they come out like feet. Just like so. You see how? Like feet sticking out from underneath the sheet. Wow, that was terrific! And what a great Halloween figure this is. It's a minion who's scared and scary at the same time. He looks fantastic. I hope you had as much fun as I did in making him. It was a lot of fun and really easy, and you might even want to make 2 or 3 of them. Well, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Play-Doh videos.